So that would be my follow-up question. Currently, can you share what your 90-10 schools data looks like?
Yeah, I have copies of it if you would like.
And your 50-50 in terms of how students are, what is your reclassification rate? How are students performing currently at those schools?
So this is our CST data across our dual immersion schools. You can look at that. We also give the Apprenda. I didn't bring that data, but we give the Apprenda to all of our dual language students as well, just to increase the level of accountability as it relates to our language programs. In addition, our 8th grade students all take the AP Spanish language test at Henry with an 80% pass rate. So 80% of our 8th graders have already passed college-level exams going into high school. So that's just one additional feature. I would have to investigate as it relates to the redesignation rate. Our current redesignation as a district is, as cited here, 10.8%. I would have to go back to those individual schools to really give you that data, to be honest with you, historically.
Thank you.
Okay. Board Member Strauss, you were on the same.
Well, so, yeah, I just was, I mean, this is very troubling. I mean, on one hand, I so much appreciate a school that builds community over time with parents and a commitment and spirit, and I think all of us are about that in our schools. We also believe in strong options for families and in communities, and also I think there's clearly commitment and research to support dual language. On the other hand, you've got issues of low on measures that's a difference of opinion on the academic achievement and a move in the state to move toward multiple measures. So it's a troubling conflict, and I clearly so appreciate the commitment from the community and the staff and the parents here, and then also the analysis by the districts. I see us in a difficult dilemma. So my question is, and I am really kind of troubled in so many ways, but you've talked about spaces and guarantee for seats. There's a lot of kids at this school, and we're here about kids, and school's opening in probably 5 weeks, 4 weeks. So have you actually tracked that should this board uphold the decision that there will be guaranteed seats? I mean, you know these are your kids.
The space is available. I mean, just with general decreasing trends in enrollment.
Okay, so thank you all, but this is our questioning opportunity, and a whole bunch of us have a lot of questions, so we appreciate your commitment. We're just trying to really get to the facts as best we can, knowing that there's a discrepancy in perception on some of this. So anything that you can share with us, because I think we're worried about that.
Yeah.
So one of the things that is probably not understandable by a lot of folks is that one of our schools, Henry School, is a current dual language K-8 school. That school is now being moved into two separate schools with two separate facilities. One is the facility, K-5, will remain, but the middle schoolers will be moving to a school called Keller School, which was used for reconstruction for another school. We're moving those students back to their newly reconstructed school. And now we have this Keller School, which is going to be open, which is why there's some new space available. So that's a kind of a nuance that I'm not sure that a lot of people understand that.
Okay, question on this data.
Can you share with us on the data? I'm assuming it's proficient in advanced students is what you're marking here.
That is correct. That's proficient in advanced, and that is strictly actually the dual language students in those programs.
The one-to-one
so when it does reference Lafayette, Webster, and Willard, it is strictly their dual language students' results.
Okay.
So you get a true comparison.
That's great. Can you identify the schools here? Which one is your 90-10 and which one's your 50-50?
So Webster and Lafayette follow a 50-50 model. Henry and Willard follow a 90-10 model. Our new middle school, Keller, since it is basically a continuation from the Henry model, essentially when you hit the upper grades, it's a 50-50 at the upper grades, so that would continue through the middle school.
Thank you.
Okay, now I have Trish Williams and then Board Member Son.
I just wanted to, we're asking you, Long Beach, a lot of questions about whether or not you are committing. And by the way, I really appreciate the fact that Superintendent Steinhauser is being so responsive. The fact that you are really committing, and I know those of you in the audience don't need to respond because we get the message here. I know there have been rejections or there have been wait lists and people have not gotten in before. Nobody's questioning that. What I'm hearing is under this circumstance, now, if we were to make a decision about closure, that there's been discussions with Superintendent Steinhauser and there is a commitment from the district that you will find places in appropriate dual immersion programs for these parents and students.
That is correct. When we've, over the past, through difficult times over the past 7-8 years, we've closed 6 different schools, many of which were twice the size of New City. So we've accommodated thousands of students back into programs, hundreds of which have gone into a single school.
So I'm not only hearing that this circumstance is bringing forth a commitment, but also it's because there are new openings. You have 100 openings now, in part because you're opening some new schools.
That's correct.
Okay.
I mean, if you're looking at just space availability, as enrollment has dropped really across the state, we've mirrored that same drop.
So
we've
you are
lost,
declining enrollment as a district.
Thousands of students, really 10,000 plus students over the last 10 years roughly. There's space there. It's really just movement of bodies and moving of personnel that can obviously accommodate and have the proper credentialing to work in a dual language program.
And to be clear, to bounce that off, obviously this is not an easy decision for anybody. It wasn't an easy decision in Long Beach. It was not an easy decision here today. The superintendent, as we've been talking about this for the past 3, 4, 5 months, we've had to do some real understanding about the families here who are very passionate, understandably so. And very recently, the superintendent did make this commitment. I mean, we're talking very recently, in understanding that if this board makes a decision, that we need to respond in a way that is appropriate and also in a way that is respectful of the wishes of families. Now, we understand that families are disappointed if the school closes, and rightfully so, because there's a lot of good things going on at New City. Having said that, the superintendent has tried to do this with some other schools some of the charter schools that have closed, and tried to work as best as we can to appropriately place and work with families to appropriately place students. So something is a commitment from him.
Board
Very
Member
recent.
Sun.
Actually,